Hi students, and welcome to today's live IELTS class. My name is Adrian. I'm streaming to you from beautiful Victoria here in Western Canada. I hope everybody has had a super week so far. I hope that you're all staying healthy and strong and you're learning lots. Students, in this class, we are looking at an IELTS listening section. Specifically, we are focusing on part 1 and part 2. And we're concentrating on getting that perfect Band 9 score for the listening section using our materials. And these topics will be about registering for a gym and a travel show. So get ready for that. The date is March 24th, and this material is presented to you by aehelp.com for academic IELTS. Visit us there. And gieltshelp.com for the general IELTS. Check us out there. On both of these websites, we have lots and lots of materials. This is what we are using today for the listening. Click this big red button to join the premium package. It's a one-time payment for lifetime access. For the general IELTS, it's the green background. Again, click that big red button. One-time payment, doesn't cost a lot. We give the most materials for the least amount of money to help you pass your IELTS exam. Welcome, Simran. Hi, Carolina, our chat moderator. Welcome, Cassandra. Welcome, members. All right. Students, if you want to use our apps, go to your app store and get our apps, Academic IELTS Help and General IELTS Help. And on Instagram, follow us, IELTS_AE-help and GIELTS Help. Where we've got tons and tons of free materials for you. You can also send me a question, adrian@aehelp.com. Now, we've got listening part 1 and 2, and tomorrow we will have speaking part 2 for members and speaking part 3 for everyone. And then on Saturday, we have a special class on Discord. So that class will be on this Discord server here, where I will host a special speaking class. Students, let's get to listening. And in listening, the same as in reading, you should be visualizing the materials. So we are looking at all right. Okay, students, I'm back, so thank you for your patience. I appreciate that. And now we will continue with the listening. So starting with listening section 1. Okay, so what you want to do is while you listen, visualize the information, so see the information and answer while you're listening, okay? But do not put the answers in the chat, so just write them down on a separate piece of paper or note them in your phone or a separate document. And then we will go through the questions and the answers together at the end. And I will give you strategies as we go through these questions. So let's hop over to our exam book. Okay, just give me one moment to bring up the exam book. This is going to be our second exam here for those of you who have access to our test books. Okay, just give me 1 second here. To try to bring up this exam book because I don't see it. So let me just, there we go. Okay. All right, so here we go. And we're going to use the audio from our website. So again, this listening is about registering for a gym membership. This is kind of a typical type of part 1. Let's get ready to listen. Here we go, everybody. Okay.
This recording is copyrighted by 2 Think One Solutions Inc. and World ESL Tutors. You will hear several different recordings and you will answer questions on what you hear. There will be time given to read the instructions and questions, and you will be given a chance to check your work. The recordings will be played only once. The test is made up of 4 sections. At the end of the test, you will have 10 minutes to transfer your answers to the answer sheet. Now turn to section 1. Listening section 1. You will hear a conversation between 2 men as one of the men buys a gym membership. First, you have some time to look at questions 1 to 5. You will see that there is an example. This time only, the conversation relating to this question will be played.
Good afternoon. I'm interested in purchasing a gym membership.
Of course, sir. What length of membership are you looking for? We have options ranging from 1 month to 2 years.
Can I get one for 3 months? I don't want to make too much of a commitment.
Of course.
The man says he wants a 3-month membership, so this answer has been indicated for you. Now we shall begin. You should answer the questions as you listen, because you will not hear the recording a second time. Listen carefully and answer questions 1 to 5.
Good afternoon. I'm interested in purchasing a gym membership.
Of course, sir. What length of membership are you looking for? We have options ranging from 1 month to 2 years.
Can I get one for 3 months? I don't want to make too much of a commitment.
Of course. Before we can get you started on getting into shape, I'm going to need some personal details from you.
Certainly.
Let's start with your name.
William Bacon.
Bacon spelled the same as the breakfast food?
Yes. B-A-C-O-N.
OK, William. Now I need your residential address.
Oh, please call me Bill. I feel odd being called William.
OK, Bill. So your address then?
Right. I live at 1653 Spooner Street in Liverpool.
Oh, I know that street. My grandmother lived there when I was growing up. The street name is spelled with an A, is it not?
Yes, that's right. Spoonar is spelled Spoonar.
And your postcode here in Liverpool?
PK387YQ.
TK387YQ?
No, PK387YQ.
Right. Now we need your date of birth.
April 9th, 1980.
And your telephone numbers, starting with your home number.
I don't have a home number, just a mobile number. It is 312-77-8391.
Fine then. Now, do you have any medical issues we should know about, such as asthma?
I have no medical concerns. I'm in perfect health as far as I know.
Now, I need to ask you a few questions to find out what type of gym membership fits your lifestyle the best.
There is more than one type of gym membership?
Oh yes, there are a number of different options. We have our most basic membership, which allows you to work out on the machines on the main floor of our town centre facility. Then there is our premium membership, which allows members usage of the machines on the second floor of our town centre facility, as well as access to our third floor lounge.
What is so special about the machines on the second floor?
Nothing really, but our gym is extremely busy, and often the machines on the second floor are the only ones available. However, as I said, they are only open to the premium members.
Tell me about the lounge.
Our lounge is fantastic. The room is big, about 50 feet by 50 feet, and we have 2 large televisions and many comfortable chairs. There is also full bar service and a complimentary snack bar.
You now have some time to look at questions 6 to 10. Now listen to the rest of the interview and answer questions 6 to 10.
That sounds great. Are there any other membership options?
Yes, there is one more. We call it the Premium Plus membership, and it allows customers to use any of our gym facilities in the country.
So if I go to London or Kent or Newcastle, can I use your gyms there?
Well, yes, but we don't currently operate a gym in Newcastle. We do, however, operate a total of 22 gyms in England, not including this one in Liverpool.
23 gyms. That's impressive. What is the price difference between these memberships?
Well, at your 3-month level, the basic membership is £53. The premium is £84 and the Premium Plus is £95.
That's quite a step up from basic to premium.
Yes, but it's quite good value for the additional services and location options.
I'll have to think this over a bit before I make a decision.
Just so you know, Bill, we are running a promotion right now. If you sign up another person along with yourself, we will give both of you premium memberships for the price of basic memberships.
Wow, that's a great deal. I wonder who I should ask to join with me. Greg loves to work out, but he's already has a gym membership. I could ask Steve, but he's so busy with work all the time. I think I will ask my neighbour Kate. She's been trying to get back into shape after having her baby last autumn.
Wonderful. I will see you soon then.
Yes, you will. Sorry, I didn't catch your name.
It's Mike, and it was a pleasure helping you.
I will hopefully be in tomorrow with Kate. Does 11 work?
No, sorry, I'm not in until midday.
I will see you midday then.
That is the end of section 1. You will now have half a minute to check your answers.
Okay, I'm just stopping the audio on the website here. I see some of you were not paying attention to my request. Don't put your answers in the chat. Wait until the end. If you give wrong answers, it just confuses other people. And also you want to give other people a chance to find the answers on their own. It's kind of like shouting out answers to a game show before letting others think about it. Okay, let's do this together. And I'm going to talk a bit of strategy while we do this together. So let's take a look at the questions here. Okay, so notice that at the beginning, I looked through all 4 parts of this listening. Okay, that's a very important strategy. So strategy 1 is look at the topics of all 4 speaking parts during the instruction time. For example, in this case, of course, part 1 is the gym. Part 2, travel show about Calgary. Okay. Part 3, student meets a professor. And part 4 was dinosaurs. Specifically the T-Rex, I believe, the Tyrannosaurus Rex. I saw that word quite a bit. Okay, so that's the first strategy. If you don't catch it perfectly, that's fine. Try to get as good of an idea as possible, because that will help you when you get to those parts of the speaking section. Okay, Carolina says it was Canadian provinces, student, professor, dinosaur. Yeah. So part 1 is fairly easy, so you don't have to stress too much, but you definitely want to get an idea of part 2, 3, and 4 at the start of the listening, so that your brain kind of starts turning and thinking, visualizing about that information. Okay. All right, so here we had to fill out this form, complete the form below. Form completion questions are very common. Now, you do not get an example on the IELTS since 2020, so keep that in mind. No example question for exams since 2020. So when you're looking at older exams, you'll see these examples. When you're looking at newer exams, the one difference, basically the only difference, is you don't see these examples. Okay, so keep that in mind. Okay, now we had this gym membership form, and I was assisting you with the pacing of the listening. So that's one really important skill to practice, is to practice the pacing. Okay, it means kind of the speed of the listening, the speed of the answers that are coming. So that's the pacing. Okay, really practice the pacing at home before your exam. Okay, so strategy 2 here is practice the pacing of the listening section. Okay, all right. Okay, so first we had to get the name of this person. What was the name of the person? Does anybody remember? Now they gave it twice. So in part 1, one of the reasons part 1 is easier is they repeat the answers. They don't do that later on, okay? So they don't actually repeat the answers. But in part 1, and sometimes a little bit in part 2, they repeat the answers. Part 3, part 4, not so much. Part 4, they paraphrase the answers, okay? Cass says it's bacon. Simran agrees it's bacon. Rohit agrees it's bacon as well. Yeah, so bacon, like the breakfast food, right? William, bacon. Okay. Even says, like, yeah, like the breakfast food. And I believe they spell it B-A-C-O-N. Louis C.K. over in the general IELTS says it was bacon. Okay. All right. And then we had the address. So we were listening for this. Now they give you the street number, and they say that it's a street. So you really only need the word here. And again, they said it twice. Okay. So Riza says that was Spoonar Street. Yeah, spelled S-P-O-O-N-A-R, Spoonar Street. The city was Liverpool. And what was the postal code? The postal code, they made a correction, right? So I think the admin says, oh, was it this, this, and this? And then the speaker says, no, it's this, this, and this, and this. So Simran says, the speaker said that it's PK387YQ. Notice how I'm using capital letters for the letters. So the P, the K, the Y, and the Q are all capital. It's just clear to read, especially if you're doing the paper-based exam. So do that, right? So the postal code indeed was PK387YQ. Don't worry about spaces or commas in there. Just put them together. As long as it's correct, you will be fine. Cassandra, Rashika, Just Karan, very good. Just Karan, use capital letters, okay? Capital letters are just easier on the eyes, okay? All right, and then we had the date of birth, which is fine. And then the phone numbers, and they give the mobile phone number. It was 312778391. How about the residential number? Amra says it's none. Sports Shorts says it's none. Okay, and this is where we kind of see the first paraphrasing. So notice how you didn't have residential number. What did they say? Bonus question. Does anybody remember what the speakers said? They didn't actually use the word residential number. What did they use? They used the word what? Anybody recall? You had to kind of figure that out. Yeah, that's right, Batal. Or no, that's right, Amra. Yeah, home number. Yeah, Saraj, very good. Yeah, home. So this was the first indication of paraphrasing. Right? Okay. So pay attention to that, because that's mostly the trick to the listening section, is being able to catch the paraphrase. So don't say home. They don't say residential number. They said home number. Oh, I don't have a home number. What's your home number? I don't have one. But in the questions it says residential. So you have to know that home and residential have the same meaning in English. Okay, that's right, Louis. Yeah. Or Louis. Louis says home number. Yeah. Absolutely. Okay. All right, and then they give the mobile number, medical issues, none. Now we get to the lounge, okay, and we've got to pick out the right description for the lounge. This is a very common type of question again, and students sometimes have difficulty with this, so you have to pay attention. You have to really listen carefully. I noticed that it has to be either A or C. Okay, so the correct answer has to be A or C. It cannot be B. It cannot be D. Right? So what was the correct answer? Was it A or was it C? Okay, Riza says it was A. BS Brawler says it was A too. Why was it A? You don't really have to see too much of the image to figure this out. Okay. So why do we know that it is A and not C? So we know that it's, yeah, Cass says, the speaker said the measurements. The measurements were 50 feet by 50 feet. So that's how we know that it's square, right, Cass? 50 by 50 means that it's 50 feet by 50 feet, or 50 meters by 50 meters, doesn't matter. It means that it's a square, okay? And only A and C. So only A and C are square, okay? And then we go and we reduce further this information, because Rashika says there are many chairs in front of the TV. Yeah. The TV, so, and the answer is A, right? So A is the correct answer. Okay. All right, that's how we know. So it's by a process of deduction, right? So we've got 4, then we've got 2, then we've got 1. And that's what you're paying attention to, okay? Is this process of deduction. You have 4, then 3, then 2, then 1 right answer. Okay, so that's kind of the strategy that you're paying attention to, right? The reason it's not C is because we don't have many chairs in front of the television. You only have one chair or one box here in front of the television. That's the difference. Here we've got lots of boxes, meaning that it's the seating, so there's lots of chairs. Okay. All right, and then question 6, we had to match the membership. So number 6, you have to get 2 correct here. So for this, in the computer-based exam, you're probably just dragging and dropping for this type of question. For the paper-based exam, you actually have to write it. So you'd have box 6, and then for box 6, you'd put B something, and then C something, okay? So the basic is access to the main floor. B should be 1. Yes, that's right. Trick Duke Fum. Okay. And C should be 2. So in your answer sheet, you just give the answer like that if you're doing the paper-based exam. Okay. B1, C2. Computer-based, it's easier. You just drag and drop it in there. Yeah, the Premium Plus membership gives access to facilities around England, which leads us into the next question. How many gyms does the company operate in England? And the man says, the administrator says 22, not including this one. Okay. And then the customer says, oh, wow, that's amazing. So Batal, Sabitri, Saraj, and everybody's saying 23. So 23 in all. Now, pay attention, students. So here, the customer says, oh, 23, that's amazing. If this were a part 3 or a part 4 in the listening section, they wouldn't say 23. The man would just say 22, not including this one. So you have to know from that information that it's 23 total. Okay. So that's how each part gets more and more difficult, as the language gets more difficult. You have to understand better and you have to think more. So it progressively increases in difficulty. Each section, or each part, I should say, is more difficult than the previous. So part 2 is more challenging than part 1, part 3 more challenging than part 2, but also the questions. So question 9 is more challenging than question 2 most of the time, okay? So the parts are progressively more difficult and the questions are progressively more difficult. That's the way IELTS is designed. So what is the cost of the premium membership? And they give you the word pounds. Really pay attention to that. So you don't need to write the word pounds. You just need the number. Okay. And Riza, Simran, Rashika, Trayduk, Fam, Sanjarbek. Many others are saying it's 84. 84 is the correct answer. So it's 84 pounds for the membership. Yeah, pretty expensive if you know the cost of pounds. Okay. And then there's question 9. So there's some kind of a special discount, right? If you get another person to join, they give you a really good deal. And so Bill, aka William, he's like, oh, who should I ask? I'm thinking about this person, that person. And finally, he settles on, Rohit says, neighbor Kate. You can just write Kate. Just make sure it's a big K. Okay, big K. Kate with a big K. If the K is small, you'll get it wrong. All right. So Kate the neighbor. Very nice. If you wrote his neighbor, that's okay too. So there's a few different answers that you could write. You could probably write his neighbor. Okay. Just make sure to spell it correct. Okay. Or the neighbor would be okay as well. Neighbor, yeah, it's okay. I think they'll take that. All right, and what time is Bill meeting Mike the next day? So Bill says, okay, I'll come back tomorrow after I talk to my neighbor, Kate. And he says, I'll come in the morning. And then Mike says, that's no good. I'm not in the morning. I'm going to be here. Yeah, midday. Midday is midday. Okay. There are some other ways to say midday. What's another way to say midday? Because midday is one word. If you misspelt it, you might get that wrong. Okay. Rashika says noon. 12 noon. Yeah, that would be okay. 12 noon is a good answer as well. Or you might even write something like 12 p.m. Okay. And you could do it like this as well. So that's also correct. Well, those are all correct answers. That's all midday. All right. Okay. How did you do there, students? So how did you do? What did you get out of 10? What did you get from these 10 questions? Rohit says 9 out of 10. Tree says 9 out of 10. Sports shorts, 10 out of 10. Very nice. Amra, 9 out of 10. Yeah, your goal should be for part 1. 9 or 10. This is the easiest part by far. So you must focus to get all the questions or all the answers correct. All right, keep that in mind. It's very important. Okay, let's jump to part 2. So you'll see part 2 is starting to get a lot more difficult. Let's do it. Here we go.
Now turn to section 2. Take some time to look at questions 11 to 16. Listening section 2. You will hear a recording of a travel show about tourism to Calgary, Canada. First, you have some time to look at questions 11 to 16. Now listen carefully to the interview and answer questions 11 to 16.
Hello, I'm Deborah Sloan and welcome to Hotspots, the travel show that highlights great tourist spots around the world. Today we have a representative from Calgary, Canada, who is going to tell us a little about the city.
Thanks, Deborah. Yes, my name is Robert and I'm going to tell you all about the wonderful city of Calgary.
Sorry, I hate to interrupt, Robert, but can you tell me exactly where Calgary is? I'm sure many of our viewers are wondering.
Sure. Calgary is the largest city in the province of Alberta, which is the second most western province in Canada. Alberta lies directly east of the province of British Columbia, of which Vancouver is a very well-known tourist destination, and directly west of the province of Saskatchewan, of which Regina is the capital. Canada is a very big place, and that is shown by just how far Calgary is from many of the other major Canadian cities. Calgary is over 1,000 kilometres from Vancouver and over 3,400 kilometres from Toronto, Canada's largest city.
Canada is definitely a very spacious country.
Yes, indeed. Well, let me tell you a little about Calgary. Calgary is a beautiful city of approximately 1 million people, situated next to the Rocky Mountains. It is known most, perhaps, for the world-famous Calgary Stampede.
Is that with the cowboys and bull riding?
Yes, and it's held every July in the city. The Stampede attracts more than 1 million visitors each year from all over the world. It is referred to as the greatest outdoor show on earth. Another fact that Calgary is well known for is oil, which was first discovered in the area in 1902. With the boom in oil prices over the past 40 years, Calgary has seen its population grow from 400,000 in 1971 to over 1 million in 2007. In that time period, Calgary was by far the fastest growing city in Canada. Many sports fans will know that Calgary was host to the 1988 Winter Olympics, and to this day Calgary remains a winter activity destination, with several world-class facilities dedicated to many winter sports, from bobsled to curling to speed skating and everything in between. One of Calgary's biggest icons is its hockey team, the Calgary Flames, who play in the National Hockey League, or NHL as it's better known. But they have been one of the more successful teams in the league during their 30 years in Calgary, even winning the coveted Stanley Cup in 1989.
You now have some time to look at questions 17 to 20. Now listen to the rest of the interview and answer questions 17 to 20.
On the cultural side of things, Calgary boasts a number of festivals during the year, including a fringe festival, a comedy festival, as well as the Calgary International Film Festival. Calgary is also home to numerous theatre companies, as well as the Calgary Opera, Alberta Ballet, and the Calgary Philharmonic Orchestra.
Sorry to interrupt again, Robert, but this programme is called Hotspots. So what's the weather like in Calgary? I've heard it's cold.
Yes, in the winter it can be quite cold, but in the summer it is also quite warm, with average summer high temperatures hovering around 23 degrees Celsius, while average winter high temperatures are around -2 degrees and routinely go down to -20. Calgary experiences something quite unique when it comes to the weather. It has these weather fronts called Chinook winds, which can blow through the city in the winter and temporarily raise the temperature by up to 15 degrees Celsius. These Chinook winds can last anywhere from a few hours to a few days, and they are welcomed with open arms by the people of Calgary. Calgary is also one of the sunniest cities in Canada, as well as one of the driest, which makes up for a lot of the cold weather. Honestly though, if you're looking for a winter getaway to a hot spot, as you say, Calgary is not the place to go. But if you are looking for a winter getaway that includes skiing or snowboarding or anything else done best in the cold weather, nobody does it better than Calgary.
Thank you, Robert, for that fascinating look at Calgary.
That is the end of section 2. You will now have half a minute to check your answers.
All right, and students, check your answers in that half minute. It's really important that you review answers. Oftentimes, students will catch spelling mistakes or a missed answer, and then they can pick up a few more points. And sometimes it's just 1 mark that separates half a band score. So you have to be careful with that. Okay, let's look at these together. So let's jump back to question 11 and 12 here. So for question 11 and 12, you had to choose the correct letters. The order doesn't matter. They just had to be correct. Or sorry, the order does matter. You just had to be correct. So number 11 here is the province that is west of Alberta and east of Alberta. So what province is west of Alberta? Number 11 here. Okay. So number 11 should be, which one? Is it Vancouver, Saskatchewan, Calgary, British Columbia, or Regina? Now, it helps if you know a little bit about Canadian geography and you know what are provinces and which are not. But if not, you should be able to get it from the listening as well. Okay, number 11 was D. British Columbia, that's where I am. Okay. So definitely the right answer because that's where I live. So I know where that is. British Columbia, D. Okay. So it was a bit tricky because of the wording. Okay, so British Columbia, we just say BC, is west of Alberta. But I think the way they said it in the audio is Alberta lies east of British Columbia. So tricky. BC is west of Alberta. Alberta lies east of British Columbia. So the direction, which way are we looking at it? Are we looking at it from Alberta or are we looking at it from BC, right? Number 12 was Saskatchewan, B. Okay, one of the big farming prairie provinces of Canada. Saskatchewan. Okay. Saskatchewan. Saskatchewan. Two big cities there are Saskatoon and Regina. So Saskatchewan is east of Alberta, or we can say Alberta lies west of Saskatchewan. Okay, so pay attention to that. It was kind of tricky, for sure. Like I say, part 2 gets more challenging. Okay. So correct answers, Saskatchewan, British Columbia. British Columbia for 11, Saskatchewan for 12. Okay, and then here they said 1 million people is the number used to describe 2 groups in the recording. Which 2 of these groups does it describe? The population of Alberta, the population of British Columbia, of Calgary, and this is 13, 14. Here, the order doesn't matter. So Amra says 13 is C and D. Correct. So these 2 are the right answers. They very clearly say it. So they say the population of Calgary is 1 million people. And there's 1 million people that come for the Calgary Stampede. And I believe since COVID, this will be the first year to have the Calgary Stampede. I think they're going to do it this summer. I think. It is the greatest outdoor show on earth. 1 million people travel for this one event. Just imagine. 1 million people. The city doubles in population for this event. It goes from 1 million to 2 million for this event. Try to get a hotel room during this time in Calgary. That's a challenge. Definitely have one to book early. Okay, so here we go. Question 16 or 15 and 16, multiple choice. In multiple choice, really focus on the question. Okay. Which industry is Calgary known for? They've said this a couple of times. This industry has gone up and down for Calgary. Again, it's booming with the current oil prices and oil crises worldwide. Yeah, it's oil. Absolutely. So, oil it is. Okay. B is the right answer. Okay. Which of these events did Calgary host? Again, focusing on the question. And they still use the word here, host. So that helped you. They don't always, like I say, in speaking part 2, they still use some of the same words in the questions as the audio. As you get to speaking part 3 and part 4, they use less and less of the same words, right? So here, the correct answer for 16, Cass says, was B, Winter Olympics. Yes, just like we had this year, the Winter Olympics in Beijing, China. We've now had the Winter Olympics 3 times in Canada. We had it in Vancouver, where I had the fortunate opportunity to attend. And so we had it in Vancouver, we had it in Montreal, and we've had it in Calgary. Canada's a cold place, so yeah, why not have some Winter Olympics, right? Okay, 17. Average summer highs in Calgary reach how many degrees Celsius? 23 degrees. Yeah. Very good. No more than 2 words and or a number. So in this case, my answer would be wrong. So I have to take out one of these words. Let's take out degrees. 23 Celsius. Or you could just have the little circle like Sanjar Beck has. That's correct. Okay. I would do it with a C sign though. Okay, so you could do it like that. We know it's not Fahrenheit, right? Or Kelvin. See, with the little, I don't even know, where do I find that here? Let me see. There we go. Boom, like that. Okay. So 23 degrees Celsius. That would be the easiest way to do this. So 23 degrees Celsius, yeah. Okay, complete the information sheet below. Write no more than 2 words and or a number for each answer. Average winter highs in Calgary reach something 2 degrees. Amr says, let's not make it too difficult. The word there is minus. Yeah, minus. Don't use the symbol. Use the word in this case. Minus 2 degrees. Okay, very good. Chinook winds can raise the temperature by up to 15 degrees Celsius and can last anywhere from a few hours to a few... This was pretty easy. A lot of people got minus, which is good. Sports shorts. Got the word days. Jyoti, you don't need up to minus, just minus. Reach minus 2 degrees, right? Ryoko Akiyoshi says days. Yep, absolutely. Few days. Days, correct. A plural. If you say day, it's wrong because few means plural, few days. Calgary is also one of the driest cities in Canada, as well as one of the what? So they kind of reversed the order here in the question. And when I did the IELTS exam in February, the official IELTS exam, they did this a couple of times where they reversed the order to see if you're paying attention. Driest. Yeah, sunniest and driest. They give you driest, so if you said driest sports shorts, it's going to be wrong. It's going to be sunniest, right? They reverse it. So they give you driest, so you had to catch the other one, which is sunniest. But in the audio, they say sunniest first. They say Calgary is one of the sunniest cities in Canada, as well as one of the driest. So they kind of just do this little switcheroo. Pay really careful attention to that, okay? To the switcheroo. Tuan says it's one of the worst. I don't know about that. Okay, so that is the end of part 2. Question. How many did you get correct from part 1 and part 2? Basically of 20 questions. Dun, 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 dun. Drum roll, please. Okay, Durendra says I got 20 out of 20. Cass says I got 8 out of 10 on that. So I think you got like, what was it? Did you get 9, Cass? Or you got 10 on the last one, so 18 out of 20? Okay, if you got more than 16, you're on the right track. So if you got 16 or better, you are on the right track to get a band score of 6.5 or greater. Okay, if you got less than 16 correct, you have to kind of look at what's going on. Sundar Beck 17 is pretty good still. Okay, anything less, like QR Lukman 15, it's a little bit less than Riza 15 is a little bit less than what you should be getting, because part 3. Part 4, it's just going to be more difficult. So you likely will lose even more marks there, and then your mark is less than 6.5, right? So be really careful with that. Okay. All right. So that is the end of part 2. That concludes this session for the listening. But we will do part 3 and part 4 next week, everyone. So part 3, part 4 coming up next week. We used our website for this, everyone. So aehelp.com. You've got lots of practice exams there, original practice exams. GLTShelp.com. Again, you've got lots of practice exams there, as well as lots of videos and tons more materials. So make sure to check us out there. Join the premium package. It's worth it. Okay, so this is all of the contents that you get when you join the premium package at aehelp.com. Lots and tons of materials in here. Like, these are all interactive computer-based practice exams, and you got lots of interactive lessons, and then you've got a whole bunch of PDFs to help you as well, and videos, and super nice interface. So check that out. Thank you, everybody. Oh, by the way, it looked like general IELTS will look like this. So click on that big red button there to join the premium package, and it's a one-time payment for lifetime. We don't do like silver plan and gold plan, and no, just pay once, study as much as you need it. When you're done, you're done. Okay. So check us out. We help a lot of students. I will be back tomorrow with speaking part 2 and 3, I believe. Let me check that. Yeah, speaking part 2 and 3. And then we'll have a special speaking class on Saturday. Eugen, awesome emojis. I love the panda robot cat combo. It's like makes me visualize a robotic panda cat or something. All right, students, have an awesome rest of your day. I'm Adrian. I'm signing out from beautiful Victoria here, west of the province of Alberta and Calgary. And hopefully I will see you all tomorrow. Bye for now.